Remember, anyone who donates even the smallest amounts on my Patreon gets to see preview images and work-in-progress shots. If you want to join them, all you gotta do is follow the link in the description below. Before we get on to the titular custom, let's get the Patreon reward out of the way. Yes, as we all know, that AC Reinhardt, the guy who does the $10 donation, gets a custom minifigure for the month. And any of you can do so too, just by donating $10. So, as we all have established, he wanted to get all the little animals that pop out of the badniks when you smash them in the early Genesis games. This month, he wants Cucky the chicken. I'm pretty sure Sega was going for Clucky, but you know how Japanese people are with the pronunciation of L. I'm guessing that they actually didn't want to put Crucky the chicken, so they just omitted it all altogether, just so that no one would ever make that mistake. Anyway, it took about 3 days to make the figure. 1 day to make the body, 1 day to make the head and feet, and 1 day to paint it. Of course, I can make any number of these figures in that time frame. I just work on them in parallel. Alright, so showing off what Cucky looks like next to all of his other animal friends, we can see the collection's growing. In fact, there's only 2 little animal friends left. So I wonder what he'll want when those 2 are over. Alright, so let's get on to making the actual custom that the video is titled for. Alright everybody, this is it. The last custom figure from Wake Angel 2001 of 2017. It's a commission for Lone Sock, and appropriately enough, it's a pretty simple affair. It's just the Sonic Adventure 2 version of Sonic. You know, the one wearing the soap shoes. So, of course, the base figure is just Sonic with a pair of Shadow shoes, since those already are soap shoes, and you just had to modify the look. Now, this Sonic is a little bit unique in that he's not a single Sonic figure. He's actually 3. Yeah, every time I make a custom, I have some bits and pieces left over, so I took the most intact parts from 3 different Sonic figures that I dismantled and put them back together again into one figure. You probably can't really tell too much with the head and arms because those, Sonic's head has always been pretty much the same unless it has the whole temples for the Freeriders version. But if you look at the arms and legs, you find that they don't match. One of them has these simple hinge elbows, while the legs actually come from the one that has the knee swivels. So, yeah, there's that. The reason I spent so much time on this is because the modifications are actually pretty light. I literally just resculpted and repainted the shoes. Yeah, I'm pretty nostalgic for these shoes. I mean, I gotta remember, it was near the end of the Dreamcast life cycle, and Sega was having big money issues at the time. So they basically had to whore their favorite mascot out to a shoe company. I mean, play the original version of Sonic Adventure. You will see Sonic Adventure 2. You'll see posters and ads all over the place for these shoes, which was kind of, cashing in on the last vestiges of the extreme sports fad. You know, with all your Tony Hawks, like, hey, you know how cool Tony Hawk looks grinding down rails on rollerblades or a skateboard? Well, now you can do that too with just this pair of shoes. No need to know how to rollerblade at all. But, of course, Sega themselves are still nostalgic over it, as these are a selectable clothing item in Sonic Forces, so, as we all know, that they haven't forgotten this part of their history. I mean, Sega is probably the last people that want to forget their history, because, they're kind of relying on it to stay afloat these days. Alright, enough of this. Let's just move on to the completed figure. Good old Sonic. Like, that's just Sonic. A good old-fashioned, basic Sonic the Hedgehog figure. I wonder, like, Jazzwares made so many variants of Sonic over the years, and if it wasn't a variant, it was a re-release of the figure, like, if they put him in his car from All Stars Racing or something. Like, why didn't they ever make an official variant of Sonic that had these shoes on? I mean, I know at the time Sonic Adventure and even its re-release Sonic Adventure 2 DX or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was still, behind, it was still a few years behind, but, you could have done it. I mean, us Sonic fans have always been nostalgic, especially for things, Dreamcast era and before. Oh well. I guess, the fact that this never got any kind of official toy, Tomy, you still had the power to make it happen. I mean, obviously we still remember the soap shoes because they're in Sonic Forces. We still remember We still remember. Anyway, I'll see you all in 2018. Here's to hundreds and hundreds of more custom toys for all of you to enjoy.